So hello everyone, today we are going to talk about misplaced modifiers. Now what do you mean by misplaced modifiers? So what is a modifier basically? It is a word or a phrase that qualifies a word or phrase or a clause which modifies it. Now, suppose an adjective. What it does, it modifies a noun. Adverb. What it does, it modifies verb. Modifier phrases, modify an action or an actor. A simple example of it I can give. She is walking slowly. So walking is a verb and how she is walking slowly. So what it is doing? It is modifying the verb. That the verb, how the verb it is slow, right? So she is walking slowly. So adverb does what? It modifies the verb. Similar way, adjective do what? They modify noun. She is a beautiful girl. What kind of girl she is? Beautiful, right? So that is an adjective. So that is known as modification. Now, what is misplaced modifiers? It is a word or group of words whose placement suggests that it modifies one word or a phrase when it is intended to modify another. So actually it should modify some other word or some other phrase, but it is modifying something else. It is improperly separated from the word it modifies or describes. So it is not in a correct position. It is not modifying the correct word or phrase, right? So that is known as misplaced modifiers. Example, on her way home, Carmi found a gold man's watch. So you can see this gold is misplaced modifier because what she wanted to tell is on her way, Carmi found a man's gold watch, not a gold man's watch, right? So how a word can be misplaced, right? You can see here how the whole meaning of the sentence changes because of one misplaced modifier, right? So this is the correct sentence. On her way home, Carmi found a man's gold watch, right? Now, there are different kinds of modifiers. Now, let us say first is misplaced words we are going to study. In that, we are going to study about misplaced adjectives. So, misplaced adjectives are incorrectly separated from the nouns they modify and almost always distort the intended meaning. So, it is not modifying the correct noun, it is separated from the correct noun and used at a wrong place. Example of it is here, the torn student's book lay on the desk. So this is a misplaced adjective. Correct will be the student's torn book lay on the desk. So the torn student's book, it is not like that. The student is not torn, the book is torn, right? So here you can see a clear example of a misplaced adjective, right? So next is a misplaced adverb. So that can also change a meaning in sentence and also create a sentence whose meaning is highly unlikely or completely ridiculous. So here is the example of misplaced adverb. We all know adverb is what? One which modifies the verb. So here you can see we ate the lunch that we had brought slowly, right? So we ate the lunch that we had brought slowly. But what actually the correct sentence is what we want to convey by the sentence is we slowly ate the lunch that we had bought. So the lunch is eaten slowly, not it is not brought slowly, it is eaten slowly, right? So that's how it is different. Okay, I only contributed $10 to the fund of orphanage children, right? I contributed only $10. I only contributed, that means I am the only one who is contributing. In the second statement, actually what the person wants to say, the I contributed only $10. So that's the difference, right? So misplaced phrases. Now that may cause a sentence to sound awkward and may create a meaning that does not make sense. So here you can see the dealer sold the Cadillac to the buyer with leather seat. Right? The dealer sold the Cadillac to the buyer with leather seat. put the phrase next to the noun they are supposed to modify. So here the phrase should be next to the noun. The dealer sold the Cadillac with leather seats to the buyer, right? So actually the Cadillac was leather seat, right? So the dealer sold the Cadillac to the buyer with leather seats. Rather than that, the correct form is the dealer sold the Cadillac with leather seat to the buyer, right? So that's correct. So put the phrase next to the noun they are supposed to modify. The three bankers talked quietly in the corner smoking pipes. The three bankers smoking pipes talked quietly in the corner. So this is different. The three bankers talk quietly in the corner smoking pipes is completely wrong. The correct thing is the three bankers smoking pipes talked quietly in the corner. So this is the correct phrase, right? So you should not misplace any phrases, right? It will change the meaning completely. Misplace misplace clauses. Now misplaced clauses may cause a sentence to sound awkward and may create a meaning that does not make sense. So here, the clause which has been used, the waiter served a dinner roll to the woman that was well buttered. I think to fix the error and clarify the meaning, put clause next to the noun they are supposed to modify. The waiter served dinner roll that was buttered to the woman, right? So the dinner roll was buttered, right? Woman was not buttered, the dinner roll was buttered. So next to the noun you want to modify, right? So that one should take care in mind. Placing modifiers correctly. Once you have identified a modifier, you need to identify a person, place or thing that is modifying. So first, what you want to modify, identify that. Modifiers usually have a company to the thing they are modifying or go as close to it as possible. So whenever you are trying to modify any statement, you put modifier, make sure you are close to the noun which you want to modify, right? Now let's take some questions so that it's easy for you to understand. Rewrite each sentence moving the misplaced modifier in bold to its correct position. She served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. Right? That's the first sentence. You have to change on paper plates to some other place. Second is the young girl was walking with the dog in a short skirt. That's the second one. Third, at the carnival, clowns were handing out toys to children in colorful paper bags. Fourth is, Tommy with the red stripes is wearing a shirt. Fifth is, swinging wildly through the trees, the children were delighted by the monkeys. Okay, so first answer will be she served sandwiches on paper plates to children. Right? So what it was written first, she served sandwiches to the children on paper plates. She served sandwiches on paper plates to children. That's the difference. Second is the young girl in a short skirt was walking with her dog. Right? Short skirt does not come in hand. As we are talking about young girl, the modifier should be near to young girl. Right? At the carnival, clowns were handing out toys in colorful paper bags to children, right? So that's the change. Tommy is wearing a shirt with the red stripes. Here you can see what it was. Tommy with red stripes is wearing a shirt. No, Tommy is wearing a shirt with the red stripes. Fifth, the children were delighted by the monkeys swinging wildly through the trees. Here you can say, swinging wildly through the trees, the children were delighted by the monkeys. Who is swinging? Monkey is singing. So, swinging. So, you have to say, the children were delighted by the monkey swinging through the trees. Right? You can see the difference. Watch the video again, understand the difference, go back, write the questions in your book, try to change, try to modify it correctly. Right? Now you can see some more misplaced modifiers example here. Oozing slowly across the floor, Marvin washed the salad dressing. So look at the sentences and identify that it is modified, misplaced, correctly or not. She handed out brownies to children stored in Tupperware. Driving like a maniac, the deer was hit and killed. With his tail held high, my father led his prize poodle around the arena. I saw the dead dog driving down the interstate. He held the umbrella our Janet said that he got from Delta Airlines. Although exhausted and weary, the coach kept yelling, another lap. So, as we have discussed about misplaced adjective, we'll see one example we have already seen. The second one is the child ate a cold bowl of cereal for breakfast in this morning. And the child ate a bowl of cold cereal because the cereal was cold, right? Not the bowl. So the child ate a bowl of cold cereal for breakfast in this morning. You can see how adjective is placed correctly in the second sentence. Now adverbs, right? Firstly, you should know what is noun, verb, adverb, and adjective, pronoun, what all these are there. It's very basic English, 5th standard, 6th standard, you might have learned it. If you know that, then only you'll be able to understand this. Misplaced adverbs can also change the meaning in the sentence. For example, see here. Just John was picked to the host program. Just mean only John was picked, right? So John was just picked to the host the program. Just means that John was picked now. John was picked to host just the program. Just means that John hosted only the program. Right? You can see how it is changing the meaning of the sentence in three forms. Right? So read it again if you have not understood. Just John was picked to host the program. Only John was picked. Second statement, John was just picked to host the program. So he was picked now, right? Third is John was picked to host just the program. Right? Just means that John hosted only the program. Right? Misplaced phrases. Now, misplaced phrases may cause a sentence to sound awkward and may create a meaning that does not make sense. The problem sentence become containing misplaced phrases that modify the wrong nouns. Right? So, the dealer sold the Cadillac to the buyer with leather seats. This suggests that the buyer had leather seats, not the car. Right? So, now if I see it in another way, the dealer sold the Cadillac with leather seats to the buyer. So both car and leather seats are sold to the buyer. Now, three bankers talked quietly in the corner smoking pipes. The three bankers smoking pipes talked quietly in the corner. You can see how phrases are utilized in the sentences, right? Misplaced clauses, right? As we have discussed, clauses may change the meaning completely. So here you can see one example we have already seen. The second example, Ralph filled all of his clothes in the hamper that he had worn. Right? Is it correct? If I modify it properly, Ralph filled all of his clothes that he had worn in the hamper. So he's taking out clothes from the hamper, right? In the hamper is wrong. That he had worn in the hamper, right? So that's the correct statement. Dangling modifier. So what do you mean by dangling modifier is a phrase or clause that is clearly or logically related to word or word it modifies, right? Sometimes the dangling modifier error occur because the sentence failed to specify anything to which modifier can refer. For example, here you can see, looking towards the west, the funnel-shaped clouds stirred up dust. This sentence does not specify who is looking towards the west. In fact, there is nothing at all in the sentence to which the modifying phrase looking toward the west can logically refer. So what is the sentence? Looking towards the west, the funnel-shaped cloud stirred up the dust. So you can see this phrase is not connected to the sentence after comma, right? But since the modifier looking towards the west is sitting next to the funnel-shaped cloud, the sentence suggests that the cloud is doing the looking, right? So this is suggesting that the cloud is doing the looking, but actually it is not like that, right? So a dangling modifier is a phrase or a clause that is not clear or logically related to the word it modifies. So this is not clearly related to the statement, but it is not logically related, but illogically they are related to each other, right? As it was here that the cloud is looking to the west. Is it possible? No, but then also dangling modifiers are utilized, right? Correction methods. So leave the modifier as it is, change the main part of the sentence so that it becomes with the term actually modified. Looking towards the west, a funnel-shaped cloud stirred up dust. Looking towards the west, I saw a funnel-shaped cloud stirred up the dust. So what is happening here? Here there is an object I. This person is seeing towards the west, right? So that's how you modify it. So here you can see walking to the movies, the rain drenched Jim. Walking towards the movie, Jim was drenched by the rain. So you can see that Jim is walking to the movies, right? So that's how you correct the sentence. Then in dangling modifiers, you can also change the phrase to a subordinate phrase. So the main phrase can be changed to subordinate. When a 9-year-old, comma, my mother enrolled in medical school. So when I was 9-year-old, my mother enrolled in medical school. So you have to correct it like this. Having been fixed the night before, Priscilla could use the car. Since the car had been fixed the night before, Priscilla could use the car. So this has been the main phrase and this becomes the subordinate phrase. So here you can see the change, right? Having been fixed the night before, Priscilla could use the car. Since the car had been fixed in the night before, Priscilla could use the car. So this becomes the subordinate phrase. So if you change the dangling phrase to subordinate, you can correct the sentence, modify it properly. So in dangling modifier, what happens is that you have to add to the sentence to correct it, right? So that's what you need to do to correct dangling modifiers, right? You're the same thing you are doing in the examples also, right? So this were some examples, few examples of modifier. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you in the next lecture.